Empathy and followers. This is How to Be a Modern Content Creator, part 12, if you will. What your community thinks about you is the influence that you carry whenever you become a creator. Never forget this. The people who you create for are what matter most. When I started this series, I actually came up with the idea of how to be an influencer. That was the idea of the series before I changed it to the modern content creator aspect. And being an influencer is someone who has an influence over their audience. Like, hey, if I like this, they'll probably like it too. Let's show them why I care about it, that kind of thing. And that way they can care about it too. But in order to influence people, they had to have that affection towards you, and you had to have empathy towards them. And there's that balance there. So you got to understand your audience, take time to listen to them and understand their needs. Don't ignore their comments and learn their preferences and pain points. Maybe conduct surveys even too. Like, there's a lot of polls, and YouTube is pushing polls quite a bit as well, and try to engage in conversations. This is why making communities or even joining communities is a great way of reaching that audience. And it fosters that loyalty too when it comes to that, because they start to feel valued, they start to hear back from you, and they feel like, oh, I can actually connect with this guy. The next thing would be to create with a purpose, right? Always remember that your influence comes from the community you serve. And so, like, Gary Vee always talks about empathy, and have empathy that, like, hey, the people who are commenting on you, whether they're positive or negative comments, they're coming there because they're watching your video, right? They took their time out of their day to consume the content you created. And that's something that, like, you know, is not necessarily a small feat. Like, they actually took their time and they found you too. This world is huge. There's tons of creators and there's tons of people in the world. It's hard to find people. And if they found you, that's something to take into consideration. By prioritizing their needs and creating content for those needs, you cultivate that strong connection and enhance your credibility as a creator. There is a different level of being a content creator. You have the content creator who wants to create content for themselves that they made. They're like, hey, I want to make this, and so I'm going to make this. And there's the content creator who makes content for the people who are watching them. And so they're catering towards that. I find myself kind of in a balance between the two. I know that there's a lot of content that I want to make, but I also know that it's kind of content that needs to be made and people want to see it. And so I want to be the creator to do that. But I also need to get over my own ego and create content that other people would want to see based on their feedback too. And so this really understanding that there's a balance there. All right, so this episode is going to be a little bit shorter than the rest because the point is be empathetic, take care of your followers, and engage with your community. That is the big aspect. Even if you don't have a Discord or an actual like community platform, you have a community through your content ecosystem. Understand that each individual platform, Twitter, Instagram, the Facebook, the Twitter, or TikTok, will all be different audiences, but they're all part of that same ecosystem, and understand that they are part of your group. Take care of them.